The hip-hop industry could never be the same again as a result of the internet being down. In a surprising turn of events that seems like they belong in a reality show finale, Jim Jones recently disclosed the DNA results of his and Chrissy Lampkin's KID. For years, Chrissy's passionate response has left admirers speechless. These two have been the subject of a tumultuous romance in hip-hop. Breakups, reconciliations, and engagements. They have provided us with memorable TV moments, sadness, and drama. However, there was nothing that could have prepared us for this realization. The results of the DNA test are in us. They were not only spoken behind closed doors by Jim, he made it public. No. Additionally, the aftermath has been devastating. After supporting Jim through decades of ups and downs, Chrissy broke down in tears in front of the cameras. The internet is trembling with this issue though. Do those tears represent relief, treachery, or something far more sinister? Secret recordings, quiet discussions, and even leaked messages between Jim and his close group are being discussed by insiders. Was this disclosure the disintegration of the one pair people believed could endure anything, a cold betrayal, or a well-planned stunt? The state of Twitter is chaotic. There is an abundance of conspiracy theories on Instagram. Every shot of Chrissy's response is already being examined by TikTok investigators. Not only did the DNA findings reveal the truth about a newborn, but they also revealed the flaws in a relationship that was formed in the most prestigious environment. Furthermore, believe me, the following step will completely transform the situation. The world's long-awaited moment arrived like a rainstorm, and Jim Jones' revelation caught everyone off guard. An infant, a DNA test, and a family's destiny all resting on one piece of paper. Additionally, when those outcomes, Chrissy Lampkin, courageous, powerful lady we have seen for decades, broke down in grief, rage, and astonishment when the table hit. Was it, however, vindication or heartbreak? Because this is the real deal. Paternity wasn't the only outcome. They stoked long-simmering suspicions, and supporters are certain that this was more than a baby. It concerned betrayals, secrets, and a relationship so shattered that everything may be destroyed by a single piece of paper. Let us go back in time. Rumors have been swirling for weeks. There were indications from insiders that Jim Jones had secretly requested a DNA test. From Chrissy, friends that are anonymous of the family alleged that there were late-night fights, hushed phone conversations, and even a covert visit to a private New Jersey facility. Chrissy believed she had no idea, and the cameras captured it all as Jim eventually spoke the truth. The face of Chrissy, a combination of anguish and destruction, as if her whole world had been torn apart in real time. Within minutes, social media was in a frenzy. People on Twitter said they had seen screenshots of text communications between Jim and his manager. That had been released. She will not tell me everything, according to one purported communication. Another read, if this blows up, the brand is dead. Handle it quiet. Fans analyzed every line like forensic analysts, arguing that Jim's crew knew the DNA findings would alter everything. I need the truth. Don't say a word until it's confirmed. However, this is when the darkness begins. A secret group conversation is said to have leaked a voice message. Jim acknowledges that he didn't have complete faith in Chrissy. Why? She was pregnant, he said with distrust in his voice. I must have known. I couldn't allow this to happen without answers. If this is the case, the DNA test was not chosen on the spur of the moment. It had been brewing for a while. Jim was ready for the storm, and he let it loose, regardless of the consequences. Jim did not sit Chrissy down in private when the results were eventually revealed. In front of the couple's closed circle, cameras, and insiders, he dropped the bomb. Chrissy pleaded with Jim to keep it private, but he refused, according to sources. He wished for the world to witness it. That's when Chrissy lost it. In footage that was released from she is heard yelling through tears as she reveals, "You treat me this way in spite of everything I've done. You have no faith in me. You don't believe us." Once hailing Jim and Chrissy as the ride-door couple of reality TV, fans are now split. Half think Jim was quite entitled to demand the truth, no matter how harsh it was. The other half is accusing him of degrading the woman who supported him for more than 2 decades, and while Chrissy cried, Jim sat stonily, more like a man, giving a decision rather than commemorating a family achievement. His behavior has given rise to crazy hypotheses. Did he feel chilled since the outcomes didn't suit him, or was he frigid because he had previously planned something else and they did, fueling the flames? According to bloggers, the findings weren't clear-cut. Some said the exam revealed contradictions, suggesting there are other potential fathers besides Jim. Others maintain that the documents Jim disclosed might not have been authentic after all. It was alleged by a gossip website that one unidentified lab worker said, "All I'll say is that findings didn't originate from us." If that's true, then we're looking at a faked. The internet is a battleground as TikTok detectives zoom into blurry screenshots of the DNA document Jim flashed during the reveal, pointing out typos and inconsistencies, while Instagram fan pages post side-by-side comparisons of the baby with Jim with captions like "the resemblance The bombshell was intended to embarrass Chrissy rather than reveal the truth. Is unquestionable, or this baby isn't his. Open your eyes. Twitter accounts devoted to analyzing the controversy are gaining thousands of followers at a time. But the drama doesn't end there. Pop stars have joined the fray, adding fuel to the already blazing fire. Hip-hop and love stars are posting mysterious remarks. One person wrote, "Karma never goes away. Take wary who you make fun of." Another person tweeted, "I'm not surprised." Years ago, this was anticipated. A suspicious post was made by Jim's longtime buddy Kevin Kamen. Paperwork doesn't lie. People do. The comment section blew up right away. Was Cam joking? Or did he know something? Then came the emotional aftermath. Insiders claim that Chrissy rushed out after the disclosure, yelling at Jim that he had publicly ruined her for no reason. As friends attempted to comfort her, witnesses say she fell in the parking lot, crying hysterically. Jim, on the other hand, reportedly stayed inside and told his team it had to be done. No more lies. This is where the betrayal is most painful, since Chrissy has been depicted as the lady for years, who waited, made sacrifices, and remained faithful despite interminable uncertainty. She asked Jim to marry her when he refused. She resisted detractors, who referred to her as a girlfriend for life. And now, after finally becoming a mother, she is being publicly questioned in the most hurtful manner possible. Fans are calling it the ultimate slap in the face, but hold on tight because it gets messier still. According to an Insider League report, Jim's vocal mother, Mama Jones, is the one who initially encouraged him to obtain the DNA test, telling him, "Don't be no fool, don't raise no children. It's not yours." If this is accurate, then this isn't simply a couple's dispute. It's family warfare planned from behind the scenes. And just when Chrissy thought things couldn't get much worse, there came further news. According to a blogger who claims to have intercepted emails, Jim was already in negotiations with a network about broadcasting the Consider This. Her greatest pain was marketed as entertainment. It's true that Chrissy's tears weren't just genuine. They were monetiz. Fans are incensed, and comments are pouring in every day. Protect Chrissy. Jim is cruel. This is the end of it all. However, some support him, claiming he just wanted the truth. The rift is causing fan groups to fall apart, leading to confrontations and heated discussions on social media, as if the leaks, the meltdowns, and the betrayals weren't enough. Just hours after the revelation, Chrissy sent a mysterious message on Instagram that said, "Some scars never heal." This last twist has left everyone stunned. Ask God to pray. For me, the internet stopped. Was this a cry for assistance, a warning, or a hint that she was about to leave Jim permanently? One thing is certain. The DNA findings revealed a wealth of secrets, deceptions, and betrayals that no one had anticipated. Wait until you hear what happened next. Rumor has it that Mama Jones not only urged Jim to order the DNA test, but she practically demanded it. If you thought this was the end of the drama, you're seriously mistaken because the next chapter is going to get even more repulsive. You better protect yourself, she urged Jim, according to one insider, weeks before the announcement. Don't raise any children who aren't descended from Jones. When viewers discover those comments, it's like a knife because the story then becomes Mama Jones versus Chrissy rather than Jim versus Chrissy. A long simmering animosity was rekindled with nuclear fury, and it gets even more bizarre from here. Stolen voice recordings purportedly showed Mama Jones speaking on the phone with one of her close friends, during which she is heard stating, "I told him from the outset, that's not Chrissy. I always knew it, but now I know." Whether the tape was fake or real, it caused a stir on the internet, with many accusing Mama Jones of planning Chrissy's humiliation and preparing for her to be taken by surprise when the DNA was revealed. For her part, Chrissy was not going to take that kind of disrespect lying down. Following the release of the video, she allegedly engaged Mama Jones head-on in a heated yelling altercation outside Jim's studio, which witnesses described as a chaotic parking lot. Chrissy's voice broke with anger as she yelled, "You've been ruining my life. Since the start, you finally achieved your goal." Mama Jones apparently retaliated, saying, "If you had nothing to hide, you wouldn't be crying." Security had to break up the altercation before it got violent, and social media went wild. Within hours, Twitter threads turned into battlegrounds. TikTok edits replayed the leaked voice recording, and Instagram live streams analyzed every word. Some fans supported Chrissy, claiming she had endured enough disrespect and deserved peace, while others argued that she deserved peace. The fandom was divided, and the feud was officially larger than the couple themselves. But the leaks continued, and this time, text messages purportedly exchanged between Jim and an unidentified woman appeared online, defended Mama Jones, saying she was only shielding her son from betrayal. The story suddenly changed. Was Jim projecting his own adultery onto Chrissy? Screenshots revealed provocative language and preparations for a late-night rendezvous, with comments that read like daggers. as fans surmised that the DNA test was actually about Jim's attempt to hide his own skeletons rather than suspicion of Chrissy's loyalty. Chrissy's emotional breakdown began to make even more sense. According to people close to her, she wasn't crying because of the DNA results per se, but rather because she felt completely deceived by one insider simply stated that she is upset by Jim's choice to use their infant as a weapon against her, not because of the baby, but because Jim exposed her as a liar in front of the world. Jim then intensified his attack on her on Instagram Live. "You guys don't know the half of it," he wrote to his followers. "I found the answers I was looking for. I'm defending my family. Don't criticize me." With comments flowing so quickly, the feed could almost keep up. The live attracted over 200,000 viewers, and some people complimented him for being a man about his business. Others accused him of publicly humiliating the woman who had built her life around him. It was evident that Jim was not going to back down, and Chrissy also made her suffering public hours after Jim's live "I carried this child." Stood by this man through everything, and instead of celebrating life, he turned it into a circus. She went live herself, her voice faltering and her cheeks stained with tears as she gave her side of the tale. "He made me the villain when I had always been his ride or die." Fans responded to her unvarnished honesty with donations, supportive messages, and hashtags like #ProtectChrissy. But behind the scenes, things were even more heinous. One shocking leak claimed that Chrissy had checked into a hotel the night after the revelation and had secretly packed her bags. She reportedly informed a close friend, "At this time, I am unable to live with him." Cloud above love was his choice. Rumors that Jim wasn't taking the situation properly were stoked when he was purportedly seen partying with his group at a club barely 48 hours later. According to insiders, networks soon approached Jim and Chrissy with lucrative arrangements to transform the DNA issue into a broadcast storyline. And when reality TV producers were involved, the controversy became even further. One producer, who wished to remain nameless, stated, "This is gold. People can't turn their heads. We want yesterday's cameras to roll." The distinction between performance and reality became even more hazy, and celebrity comments only served to stoke the fires. Fans were appalled by the idea of Chrissy's tears being transformed into entertainment, while others said they would watch without hesitation. Kim Bella, a former hip-hop artist and lover, tweeted something cryptic. "Funny how things always work out." Cardi B responded live on Instagram, stating, "Men love embarrassing women who've been holding them down. It is repulsive. As the saying goes, Chrissy deserves better." 50 Cent even tossed in a joke. An image of Jim clutching a DNA result was posted, along with the words, "Caught up every reaction," sparked another round of chaos. Maintaining the narrative in global headlines and timelines, and then the unexpected turn of events, a blogger asserted that if it's true, Chrissy's humiliation was not only unnecessary, but it was staged for maximum impact. The blogger claims that Jim presented an incomplete version of the DNA results rather than the full report, in order to maximize drama. The full report was more nuanced, and Jim chose which parts to share. One post that went viral said he didn't want the truth, and fans were incensed. The price for the show he sought was Chrissy. Chrissy stayed silent during the events that followed, and her Instagram was devoid of any pictures of her with Jim. Her bio was changed with only one word. The gap between them was unavoidable, and fans conjectured that she was preparing for something, a book contract, a major interview, or perhaps a permanent breakup. Jim kept posting as if nothing was amiss, showing off his jewelry and hinting at new songs. The real cliffhanger, however, was when a leaked text thread purportedly showed Jim telling a close associate, "This ain't even the biggest secret. Wait until the next drop." Screenshots of that message went viral, making fans shudder. And if the DNA results weren't the whole story, then what could be more shocking? Everyone was waiting for the next shoe to drop as the rumors of a secret affair, a hidden child, a financial scandal, and what began as a DNA test turned into a family feud, a public betrayal, and a spectacle for the entire industry. However, even as Chrissy broke down and Jim stepped up, when it appeared that the dust might finally settle, the saga exploded once more. This time with a twist so ridiculous that even the most seasoned gossip bloggers acknowledged they had never seen anything like it. Fans knew the real bombshell hadn't even hit yet because the second DNA report appeared out of nowhere, emerged, and this one presented a completely different picture than the first. The report was leaked outside of official channels, from an anonymous Instagram account with fewer than 50 followers, not from a doctor's office, a lawyer, or even Jim or Chrissy. The post with the message, "Don't believe the hype," was titled "Be the Real Results. Here's the reality. Jim won't tell you." It was shared thousands of times in a matter of minutes, appearing on every possible gossip page. According to the screenshot, Jim had only disclosed a portion of the test, hiding proof that proved the child was indeed his, while promoting just the most dramatic parts. Supporters were furious. One tweet went viral, summarizing it. For clout, he basically gaslighted Chrissy into a breakdown. As the internet exploded, Chrissy, she eventually spoke up. With wet eyes and a quivering voice, she made an appearance on Instagram Live, stating, "All I ever wanted was honesty. I can take anything but lies. And now I see I wasn't crazy, I was played." The live attracted over 400,000 spectators, with admirers bombarding the remarks. "We love you, Chrissy, and leave him, sis." Jim, however, wasn't finished with his game. A few hours later, he went live himself. This time, he smoked a cigar and smiled. "Y'all believe everything you see on the internet," he sarcastically expressed. His arrogant tone will only fuel the flames. "Half y'all couldn't even spell DNA before this. I know what I showed. I know what I showed. I know it's real." Supporters charged him with being cunning, harsh, and fixated on maintaining his reputation in the media. Even from behind the scenes, things became more complicated. Chrissy had moved into her own flat, according to a source, close to the marriage, and was preventing Jim from seeing the kid until the whole truth was revealed. Jim's staff was allegedly getting ready to file a defamation lawsuit against a number of gossip blogs who accused him of falsifying results. According to another source, threats from the law only made the popular belief that he was hiding something. Then the nuclear bomb was dropped. An audio tape, purportedly from a furious altercation between Jim and Chrissy, was released and went viral online. Chrissy is heard crying on the recording, "I looked foolish because of you, in before the world. How could you harm your own family, Jimmy?" In response, Jim's clipped and icy voice said, "Family don't mean nothing if I can't trust you." The recording quickly became widely shared. Every word, every silence, every trembling breath was analyzed by fans. According to others, it demonstrated that Jim was responsible for fabricating the entire story. Others contended that no DNA test could resolve the fundamental distrust that was exposed in their relationship. It solidified one thing. Anyhow, their romance was officially over. Under the burden of its own secrets, celebrities started to voice their opinions once more. The responses were harsh this time. "Some things you can't come back from." Rapper Menno shared a mysterious anecdote after Remy Ma, a former close friend of Chrissy, tweeted a sad heart emoji. "That document is truthful. Don't believe what's in black and white." In the dark, hip-hop and romantic celebrities who had been impartial ultimately took sides. Yandi Smith deserves peace for praying for my sister and expressing a message of sympathy for Chrissy. It further divided the fanbase. On the one hand, Team Chrissy called her a queen who had made too many sacrifices and urged that she finally divorce Jim. Team Jim countered that, despite the DNA scandal, he was only shielding himself from treachery. Thousands of people debated whether Chrissy should go or stay and defend her family every night, filling entire Twitter areas. But here's the shocking turn of events. No one anticipated it. While all of this was going on, Chrissy was seen with another man in Miami. On a hotel balcony, she was seen by paparazzi with what seemed to be a well-dressed mystery person who was smiling, drinking wine, and seemed unconcerned. The images quickly went viral and sparked a lot of speculative activity. Was she here? New man, an associate in business. A rebound to convey a message to Jim. Although no one was certain, the visuals were indisputable. Jim had a similarly explosive response. Another Instagram Live, and this time he was angry. "Oh, so I'm battling for my family while she's out here in Miami with some man. See what's actually happening now." As he banged the table in front of him, his voice trembled with wrath. People who watched called it a breakdown. Real-time footage of a guy disintegrating as his empire fell apart. The internet ate up every moment. More quickly than ever, memes spread. Jim was referred to as the DNA DJ by fans, who made fun of his several lives for rewriting the story in all directions. In the meantime, Chrissy's great Miami pictures generated a lot of praise with remarks like "unpottered, queen energy," and "this is how you glow after dropping 20 years of dead weight." If you thought things couldn't get much messier, now an additional insider revelation completely blew the story apart. A whistleblower who is purportedly connected to Jim's management team claims that months ago, the entire DNA story was presented to VH1 as a potential new reality show idea. Jim and Chrissy, the pitch, the truth stings. If accurate, this meant that every tear, every disclosure, and every humiliation may have been designed to increase ratings. Fans were incensed because they had put their feelings into what may have been a staged performance. Several felt deceived. Some acknowledged they didn't give a damn. The drama was too captivating to ignore. In any case, everyone was left wondering, was this all real? Was this all a ruse for amusement? It was said that by the end of the week, Chrissy had enlisted her own public relations team and was getting ready to regain control of the story. She was reportedly thinking about doing a sit-down interview with a big network. She may share her perspective, not altered or filtered. As all was going on, Jim's team hinted that he had one last piece of proof to present, a purported last document that would put an end to all conjecture. Awaiting the effect, fans pondered whether the proof would clear his name or ruin their relationship. Tension escalated to a fever pitch. According to online polls, supporters are evenly divided. 0.51% support Chrissy, while 49% continue to support Jim. War zones were created in comment sections. Debates caused friendships to break down, leaving the hip-hop community in shock. What began with a DNA test had developed into the most spectacular celebrity scandal of the year, the cliffhanger, and possibly the decade. Chrissy shared a single statement on Instagram in a mysterious tale with a dark backdrop and white writing. "My freedom will come from the truth." No pictures, no names, just the terrifying assurance that there was more to come. Everyone in the globe held their breath. If this was only the start, then Jim and Chrissy's DNA drama was about to explode in a way that no one could ever fully recover from. And for the time being, we leave it there. But let's not mince words. This is not the end of the narrative. Not only is it not resolved, it is also not going away in silence. The internet is at war after a single DNA test triggered leaking audio, stoked betrayals, and tore up ancient scars. Chrissy promises to be honest. Insiders are always speculating about unpublished receipts that might completely change our understanding of hip-hop's most notorious marriage, and Jim is adamant that he has one more piece of proof. So let me ask you this: will you honestly chance missing the next twist? Because when it does, it will come, I promise. The headline won't be the only thing. The type of bombshell that splits the internet in two will be released. If, like us, you're as astonished as we are, hit the like button immediately. Give up your ideas in the comments section. Do you think Chrissy's version of events is credible? Or is Jim engaging in a calculated but risky game? In your opinion, every single one is being read by me. However, it is crucial that you click subscribe and enable those alerts, since the next leak, the next collapse or betrayal may occur today, tomorrow morning, or in the midst of the week when no one is prepared for it. Don't be the last to discover, be present when it occurs. The fact that is no longer simply gossip, it is historical, happening in real time, and you must witness every moment of it.